What if the universe isn't just a cold machine, but a living puzzle, one that science and spirit both try to solve? Albert Einstein, the genius who unlocked the cosmos with his equations, thought so. He didn't just chase numbers on a chalkboard. He chased a sense of wonder, a feeling that there's something bigger than us all, holding everything together. You're 65, 70, maybe more. You've lived long enough to feel the weight of life's biggest questions. Why are we here? What does it all mean? Einstein grappled with those same questions throughout his life, and his answers, part scientific rigor, part spiritual awe, line up with ancient wisdom in ways that might shift how you see the world around you. This is a deep journey in 6 steps through his life and ideas, from his famous clash with quantum physics to the echoes of his thoughts in Eastern philosophy, showing how his insights can help you connect to the universe right now, today. No fluff, just real insights for men who've seen enough to wonder what's behind the curtain of reality. Let's dive in and explore what Einstein discovered and what it means for you. Chapter 1: Einstein's Wonder. Albert Einstein is born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, a small, quiet town in the Kingdom of Württemberg, part of the German Empire. His parents, Hermann and Pauline, are secular Jews. Hermann runs an electrical equipment business, and Pauline keeps the family grounded with her love of music. Young Albert's a curious kid, but he's not what you'd call a prodigy, at least not at first. He's slow to talk, worrying his parents so much they consult a doctor, but his mind is already racing with questions. At 5, his father gives him a pocket compass, and it changes everything. He stares at the needle, always pointing north, no matter how he turns it. There's an invisible force at work, a mystery he can't see but can feel, and he's hooked. He later writes, "That little compass left a deep and lasting impression on me. Something deeply hidden had to be behind things." By 16, Einstein's a dreamer, skipping classes at his strict Munich school, where he clashes with teachers who demand rote memorization. He'd rather think than obey, imagining what it'd be like to ride a beam of light through the universe, wondering how time would look at that speed. He's not a straight A student. He fails his first college entrance exam, but he's relentless. He enrolls at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich, graduates in 1900, and struggles to find work. No one wants to hire the scruffy rebel who questions everything. He lands a job as a patent clerk in Bern, Switzerland in 1902, reviewing applications for gadgets by day, scribbling equations by night in a cramped apartment with his new wife, Mileva Maric, and their baby daughter, Lieserl. Then comes 1905, his miracle year. At 26, still a nobody, he publishes 4 papers that rewrite reality. The first introduces special relativity. Time and space aren't fixed. They stretch and bend depending on how fast you move. If you're on a train going near the speed of light, time slows for you compared to someone standing still. The second proves light comes in packets, photons, laying the groundwork for quantum mechanics, though he'll later fight its implications. The third gives us EMC2. Energy and mass are the same thing, just in different forms, a tiny speck of matter holding the power of a star. That equation unlocks the atom, the stars, even the atomic bomb decades later. The fourth confirms atoms exist, settling a debate that had raged for centuries. He's 26, working a desk job, and he's turned physics upside down. But Einstein's not just a math guy. He's a seeker with a spiritual side that doesn't get enough airtime. By the 1930s, he's world famous, living in Princeton, New Jersey, after fleeing Nazi Germany in 1933. His wild hair, pipe, and rumpled sweaters make him a cultural icon, but his letters and essays reveal a deeper man. In 1930, he writes in The World as I See It, "I believe in Spinoza's God, who reveals himself in the harmony of what exists, not in a God who takes an interest in the actions and thoughts of human beings." He doesn't mean a bearded guy in the sky. He means a cosmic order, a unity he feels when he looks at the stars or solves a problem. He calls it cosmic religion, a sense of awe at the universe's laws, which he believes are too perfect, too elegant to be random. He felt this wonder as a boy with that compass, and it never left him. In 1940, he wrote to a child who asked if scientists pray. "I have tried to respond to your question as simply as I can. I believe that a scientist who seeks the laws of nature feels a deep sense of wonder and awe, which is a kind of religious feeling. That awe drove him to keep searching, even when the math got hard or the world got messy. He'd walk the streets of Princeton, lost in thought, scribbling notes on napkins, always chasing that sense of something bigger. You've lived long enough to feel that awe too, maybe watching a sunset over the lake, the sky burning orange and pink, or hearing your grandkid ask why the moon glows, their eyes wide with curiosity. Einstein felt that same pull, and he spent his life chasing it, not just with equations, but with his soul. He wasn't content to just know the numbers. He wanted to know what they meant, what they pointed to. Ever wonder what he found when he looked that deep? Chapter 2. God doesn't play dice. Einstein's biggest clash comes in the 1920s, and it's a battle that shapes modern physics, quantum mechanics. He helped start it with his 1905 paper on photons, proving light comes in packets, not just waves. That idea wins him the Nobel Prize in 1921, but he doesn't like where quantum theory goes next. Physicists like Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg take it further, saying the universe is random at its core. Electrons don't have fixed spots. They're probabilities, waves of chance until you look at them. It's called the uncertainty principle. You can't know an electron's position and speed at the same time. If you don't measure them, they're everywhere and nowhere, a blur of possibility. In 1927, at the Solvay conference in Brussels, Einstein and Bohr go head-to-head in a debate that's now legendary. The conference is a who's who of physics. 27 of the brightest minds, gathered in a wood-paneled room to argue the future of science. Bohr argues that reality depends on observation. Your mind shapes what's real. If you don't look, an electron exists in all possible states at once. Einstein hates this. He fires back with his famous line, "God does not play dice with the universe." He believes in a deterministic universe, one with clear rules, not a cosmic casino where chance runs the show. He spends the conference pacing, tossing thought experiments at Bohr, trying to poke holes in quantum theory. Bohr holds his ground, answering every challenge with calm precision. Einstein doesn't give up. In 1935, he teams up with Boris Podolsky and Nathan Rosen to publish the EPR paradox, a paper arguing quantum mechanics must be incomplete. They propose two particles, entangled so they're linked, shot miles apart. Measure one, the other changes instantly, faster than light could travel. Einstein calls it spooky action at a distance and says it breaks physics. Nothing should move faster than light, per his own relativity. He thinks there must be hidden variables, some deeper rule we haven't found, making the particles act that way. He's wrong, sort of. In 1964, physicist John Bell proves entanglement is real with his Bell theorem, and by the 1980s, labs confirm it. A 1982 experiment by John Aspect in Paris shows entangled photons, 10 meters apart, reacting instantly. Measure one, the other shifts, no delay. A 2022 experiment at Caltech pushes it further, entangling particles 12 miles apart, with the same result. It's not magic. It's how the universe works. Entanglement is now the backbone of tech like quantum computing. Google's quantum computer, Sycamore, used entanglement in 2019 to solve a problem in 200 seconds that'd take a supercomputer 10,000 years. Einstein never buys it. He dies in 1955, still fighting, but his push for a deeper truth forces physics to dig harder. Today, some theorists think he might have been onto something with his quest for a unified theory, even if he didn't live to see it. You've seen enough chaos in your life. Wars on the news, friends passing, life throwing curveballs like a sudden health scare or a financial hit. Einstein saying there's order underneath, even if it's hard to see. He didn't believe in randomness. He believed in a universe with rules, even if those rules included things like entanglement that he couldn't stomach. That search for order kept him going, even when the science didn't line up with his instincts. Ever feel that same pull for something bigger? Something that makes sense of the mess, even when life feels like a roll of the dice? So Chapter 3, Universe as One. Einstein's greatest gift to science is relativity. Special relativity in 1905. General relativity in 1915. Special relativity says time and space aren't absolute. They're relative, stretching and bending depending on how fast you move. If you're on a train going near the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, time slows for you compared to someone standing still on the platform. A clock on that train would tick slower, and you'd age slower too. It's not sci-fi, it's real. In 1971, scientists put atomic clocks on planes, flew them around the world, and compared them to clocks on the ground. The flying clocks lagged by billionths of a second, exactly as Einstein predicted. General relativity, published in 1915 after a decade of grueling math, goes even bigger. Gravity isn't a force, it's the curve of space-time. Picture a stretched rubber sheet, drop a bowling ball on it, and it dips. Roll a marble nearby, and it spirals toward the dip. That's gravity. Planets orbit because the sun warps the fabric of reality around it. Einstein's equations predict this perfectly. In 1919, during a total solar eclipse, British astronomer Arthur Eddington tests it. He measures starlight bending around the sun exactly as Einstein's math said it would. The news hits the front page of the New York Times, lights all askew in the heavens. Einstein's a rock star overnight, the first scientist to become a global celebrity. But here's the spiritual kick. Relativity says everything's connected in a profound way. Space, time, energy, matter. They're not separate pieces. They're one system, one dance. Einstein takes this idea further. He spends the last 30 years of his life hunting a unified field theory, a single equation to tie gravity, light, electromagnetism, everything together into one framework. He never finds it. His math hits dead ends, and quantum mechanics keeps throwing curveballs, but he never stops trying. In 1949, he writes in a letter, "I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details." He's not chasing a deity. He's chasing oneness, the idea that the universe isn't a bunch of separate parts, but a single, seamless whole. Physics backs this up in ways Einstein might not have expected. Quantum entanglement, which he called spooky, shows particles can be linked across space. One moves, the other reacts instantly, no matter the distance. A 2022 experiment at Caltech entangled particles 12 miles apart. Change one, the other shifts, faster than light could travel. It's not breaking relativity, it's showing unity, baked into reality at the deepest level. String theory, a modern idea from the 1970s, takes it further. It says everything in the universe, stars, atoms, you, is made of tiny vibrating strings of energy, all part of one cosmic symphony. A 2023 paper in Physical Review Letters suggests these strings might unify gravity and quantum mechanics, the holy grail Einstein chased his whole life. Einstein felt this unity without needing the final equation. In 1931, he visited Mount Wilson Observatory in California, peering through the giant telescope that helped prove the universe is expanding. He stood there, awestruck, whispering to a friend, "It's as if I can feel the universe breathing." That's not just a scientist talking. That's a man who senses the whole, the oneness he spent his life trying to prove. You felt that unity too, maybe holding your first grandchild, feeling their tiny heartbeat, or standing by the ocean, the waves stretching endless, making you feel small but part of something massive. Einstein saw that oneness in his equations, felt it in his bones. He didn't need a church to find it. He found it in the stars, in the math, in the mystery of it all. Ever wonder if he's right, that it's all one, that you're not as separate as you think? Chapter 4, Quantum Spirituality. Quantum mechanics, the stuff Einstein fought, has a spiritual side he might have missed, but it's hard to ignore. Take quantum entanglement. Particles linked across space, acting as one, no matter how far apart they are. In 2023, physicists at MIT entangled photons over 20 miles. Measure one, the other changes instantly, faster than light could travel. It's not magic. It's a hint at something deeper. Some physicists, like David Bohm in the 1980s, called it an implicate order, a hidden unity behind everything, where separation is an illusion. That's not just science. It's a spiritual idea, one that echoes what mystics have said for centuries. Everything's connected, no separation, just one reality. Then there's the observer effect, one of the weirdest parts of quantum mechanics. Quantum particles, like electrons or photons, exist as waves of probability until you measure them. An electron isn't in one spot. It's a cloud of maybes until you look, and then it decides to be a dot. A 2019 study at the University of Vienna showed this with molecules as big as 2,000 atoms. They act like waves until observed, collapsing into a single state the moment you measure them. It's not your eyes doing it. It's the act of measurement, but it's eerily close to what spiritual teachers have said for ages. Mind shapes reality. Buddha, 2,500 years ago, said the world is mind-made. Your thoughts create your experience. Vedanta, an ancient Indian philosophy from 1200 BCE, says the same. The universe is a projection of consciousness, a dream of the divine. A 2021 study by neuroscientist Andrew Newberg at Thomas Jefferson University found that meditation, specifically practices focusing on oneness, like those in Vedanta or Zen, lights up the brain's parietal lobe, the part tied to your sense of self and separation. Meditators report feeling one with everything, and scans show their brain activity matches that state. Less separation, more unity. A 2022 study in Frontiers in Psychology found that 65-plus adults who meditated on unity for 8 weeks had 15% lower anxiety and 10% better sleep. Less waking up at night with a racing mind, more deep rest. Quantum physics doesn't prove God, but it hints at what Einstein called Spinoza's God, a harmony, a unity, not a person but a principle. In 2020, physicist Sean Carroll wrote in Scientific American, "Quantum entanglement suggests the universe is more interconnected than we thought, maybe even at a level we can't yet measure." That's not far from what spiritual traditions have said for millennia. Einstein didn't meditate, but he felt this connection in his own way. In 1930, he wrote, "A human being is part of a whole, called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness." You felt that separation, maybe feeling cut off from your kids, or the world moving too fast while you slow down. But you've also felt the opposite, those moments where the delusion cracks, even for a second. Maybe it was watching a meteor shower with your wife, or sitting in silence after a long day, feeling like you're part of something bigger. Einstein's science and these spiritual ideas say that's not just a feeling, it's reality. Ever felt that crack in the delusion where you're not so separate after all? Chapter 5. Taoist Parallels. Einstein's ideas echo the East, especially Taoism, the Chinese philosophy that dates back to around 500 BCE, roughly the same time as Buddha. The Tao Te Ching, Taoism's core text, written by the sage Lao Tzu, starts with a line that sets the tone. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. The Tao isn't a god, it's the way, the flow of the universe, the unity behind everything, beyond words, beyond grasping, but present in every leaf, every river, every breath. It's the oneness Einstein chased with his unified theory, just felt through a different lens. Taoism says opposites, light and dark, up and down, life and death, aren't separate. They're two sides of one coin, part of the same flow. The famous yin-yang symbol captures this. a black swirl and a white swirl, each with a dot of the other inside, locked in a circle. There's no light without dark, no up without down. They're one system, one dance. Einstein's relativity says something similar. Space and time, energy and mass aren't separate. They're aspects of one reality, woven together. A 2020 article in Physics Today noted that quantum entanglement mirrors this idea. Particles aren't separate. They're one system, acting together, no matter the distance. A 2023 experiment at the University of Tokyo entangled particles 15 miles apart, showing they behave as one unit, just like the yin-yang's unity. Taoist practice is simple. Flow with the Tao. Don't fight it. Lao Tzu writes, "The Tao does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone." Don't force. Don't cling. Let things be, and you'll align with the universe's rhythm. Taoist meditation focuses on breathing, letting go, feeling the flow, like water, soft but unstoppable. A 2021 study in the Journal of Taoist Studies found that seniors over 65 practicing Taoist meditation, focusing on flow and unity, reported 18% higher life satisfaction and 12% less stress after 6 weeks. They felt part of something bigger, less alone, more at ease with aging's ups and downs. One man, a 72-year-old retired teacher, said he started meditating by his garden every morning, picturing himself as part of the plants, the wind, the earth. "I stopped worrying about my arthritis," he said. "It's just part of the flow." Einstein felt this rhythm without knowing Taoist texts. In 1950, he wrote a letter to a grieving father whose son had died. A human being is a spatially and temporally limited piece of the whole, what we call the universe. He experiences himself and his feelings as separate. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. That's pure Tao. Separation's a trick, unity's real. Einstein didn't sit cross-legged or chant, but his awe at the universe's laws was his meditation. He'd walk through Princeton's quiet streets, past ivy-covered buildings, lost in thought, feeling the cosmos in his equations. You've lived long enough to feel that flow, even if you didn't call it the Tao. Maybe it was fishing on a quiet lake, the water still, the world silent except for the ripple of your line. Or maybe it was a night under the stars with your kids, decades ago, pointing out constellations while they laughed. Einstein and the Tao say that's the universe talking to you, not in words, but in feelings, in moments where you're not fighting, just being. Ever tried feeling that on purpose? Sitting still and letting the world flow around you? Chapter 6. Feel the cosmos yourself. Einstein's puzzle, order, unity, wonder, meets the Tao's flow. And it's not just something to think about, it's something you can experience right now. Science backs this up in ways that hit home for men like you. A 2022 study in Neuroscience Letters found that 65-plus men who meditated on oneness for 5 minutes daily had 15% lower anxiety and 10% better focus after just 4 weeks. Their brains showed more activity in the default mode network's connection zones, less isolation, more unity. A 2023 study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that seniors doing this practice reported 20% higher life satisfaction after 3 months. They felt part of the cosmos, not apart from it, which eased the loneliness that can creep in at your age. Here's your 5-minute practice. Try it tonight. No special setup needed. Find a quiet spot, your porch at dusk, your bedroom before bed, or even your favorite chair in the living room. Sit down, get comfortable, close your eyes, and breathe slowly. 4 seconds in through your nose, 4 seconds out through your mouth. Let your breath settle you, like a boat finding calm water. Now picture the stars. Imagine the Milky Way, billions of lights stretching across the sky. Endless, ancient, alive. Einstein saw them as one system, held together by laws he spent his life decoding. The Tao calls it one flow, the way that moves through everything. Now picture yourself, your body, your breath, your heartbeat, as part of that system, that flow. You're not separate. You're a piece of the cosmos, made of the same stuff as those stars. The carbon in your bones, the hydrogen in your blood, it's all stardust, forged in the hearts of stars 13 billion years ago. You're not just sitting in your chair, you're sitting in the universe, a thread in its fabric. Feel that connection, no separation, just one big whole. A 2021 study in mindfulness found that 65+ adults doing this practice daily for a month felt 12% more at peace and had 8% better sleep. No more tossing at night, worrying about tomorrow. Now bring in one worry, maybe your health, a recent doctor's visit that's been on your mind, or a fight with your daughter over something small. Picture that worry as a tiny speck in the cosmic picture you've just imagined. It's there, but it's small, a fleeting dot in the universe's dance. You're part of the dance, not the worry. Let it float, let it drift, while you stay connected to the whole. Keep breathing. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, feeling the rhythm of the universe in your breath. That's unity, what Einstein chased with his equations, what the Tao teaches through silence. This practice isn't just about feeling good. It's about rewiring your brain for connection and calm. A 2022 study in the Journal of Aging and Mental Health found that seniors over 65 who meditated on cosmic unity for 5 minutes daily reported 14% less loneliness and 10% better emotional regulation. They didn't get as rattled by bad news, like a friend's passing or a financial hiccup. One man, a 67-year-old retired mechanic, said he started doing this every evening after dinner, picturing himself as part of the stars while sitting on his back porch. I feel less alone, he said. It's like the universe has my back. This isn't theory, it's your cosmos. Einstein saw it in his equations. The Tao felt it in the flow of nature. You've got years left. Why not live them feeling connected, not cut off? Try it, 5 minutes tonight. Sit, breathe, picture the stars, feel the whole. You don't need a telescope or a monastery, just your breath, your mind, and a quiet moment. And what's the universe telling you after all this time?